In this class, our discussion is still on business organization and structure, and the topics we cover including three areas. First, the centralization and decentralization. Next, we will discuss Antony's hierarchy, and then followed by the discussion of roles and functions of the main departments in a business organization. So let's start to discuss about the centralization and decentralization. Another method of analyzing structures is by reference to the level at which decisions are made. So, a core in an organization structure is about decision-making process. And in our another class, we have already discussed the 6 basic organization structure concepts. And here we show another method of analyzing structures with the decision-making process. So there are 2 structures that we will discuss. First, the centralized structure, and then is decentralized structure. Under a centralized structure, the upper levels of the organization's hierarchy retain the authority to make decisions. In other words, all the decision-making process is centralized in a one party or in a one department or even in one person. The extreme example is the entrepreneurial structure. That means the business owner is the only person to make all business decisions in an organization. That is the extreme case for centralized structure. On the other hand, the decentralized structure is not the same, because for centralized structure is one man or one person to make all decisions on the extreme case. For decentralized structure, the management team may be a group of team members in the management team, and they delegate the authority to make decisions to the lower level of management. So it is the structure, the authority to take decisions is passed down to units and people at lower levels. That is the characteristic of decentralized structure. So the first factor affecting the amount of decentralization is management style. As discussed before, on extreme case, if the organization is formed by a business owner, which is the style is entrepreneurial style or entrepreneurial structure, then you can imagine it is more on centralized structure instead of decentralized, because the business owner, he or she would like to make all the decisions under his or her control. And next, the ability of management team or employees. If the management or the key business owner, he or she thinks he's very capable, and she does or he does, then the organization structure will tend to be more centralized, because he or she would like to make all the business decisions because he thinks he is so capable to do it, but not for other employees. Third, geographic spread. Imagine if an organization is only focusing on local business. That means it has no need to expand to other markets, no need to have other offices or stores in different places in the world. Then the tendency of the organization structure will be on centralized instead of decentralized. On the other hand, for a lot of multinational companies, their business across the planet in different continents, and centralization is not very possible for them to do it. So they would like to delegate to the local team management to make the decisions fit for local demand and needs. Then it comes to decentralized or decentralized structure. The final factor here is about the size of the organization or scale of activities. As mentioned, if the company's size is quite big because its business across the planet in different continents, then it tends to be decentralized structure instead of centralized. And also the scale of activities. If the scale of activities is quite big, say the turnover, the sales turnover is over 10 billion US dollars, and you have to hire a lot of people, you have a lot of supplier, vendors, whatever, and you have a lot of customers as well. Because the scale of activities is quite big, you need to have a decentralized structure in order for the team or for the organization to make the decision faster. So it comes to our another chart here, decentralization advantages and disadvantages. Sometimes decentralization is good, but not for all the time. And first, under decentralization structure, the senior management, they are free to concentrate on strategy. They are free to make their proposal or their strategic workshop in order to set the directions of the whole organization, because they no need to take care of the daily operations for them. Next, better local decisions due to local expertise. You hire a local management team for your local markets because many of them comes from local markets. They have the local expertise. They can make the decisions fit for local demand and needs as well. So the decision made by local team sometimes is superior to the team, to the members in the headquarters, especially for local markets. Imagine if a headquarters is located in United Kingdom, but your market's in Asia, then first of all, the people in the headquarters, they don't know a lot, or they don't know the details about the local markets. And once they need to make the decisions for local market, it is not so great because they don't have the local expertise. They don't understand the local, for example, the local language or the local culture. So the local people can make the decisions fit for local demand and needs. And then better motivation. Because you set a career path for the local management team, and once they are qualified by proper training, because you have to increase the training on them. If they meet the minimum standard, they are qualified to lead the management team in local markets. They are qualified to make a decision. You delegate to them. They have a higher or better motivation for them to work because they have a clear career path. Once they can fulfill the training needs or any other requirements, they can be the local team leader in order to lead the business locally. So they are motivated from this aspect. And the final advantage here is about the responses. Local team can fulfill the local demand, so because they can make the decision and respond to local demand and needs quicker than from headquarters, and it's also more flexible for them to do it. On the other hand, there are disadvantages. First, loss of control by senior management. Sometimes the senior management think they need to control the local team. Otherwise, it will have some impact or disadvantages for the whole organization. It comes to the second point here. If you don't have the proper control, then there is a possibility for the local markets to make dysfunctional decisions, because they have the local team and the whole organization. Sometimes they have different goals or divergence of the goal. One example is local markets. They want to sell product A, but the headquarters, the focus right now shift from product A to product B or product C. And for local market, they still selling product A and they are still putting resources like marketing and promotion on product A. But on a global or on the whole organization perspective, product A will not be the key focus because of maybe the profitability or other prospect. So there's these functional decisions made. within the same organization, because you delegate the local team to make their local decision. And third, poor decisions. Especially you hire inexperienced managers for the local market. As said, there's a good advantage or advantage for the local team because there's a clear career path for them to be promoted to be the leader in the local market. But if there is any manager hired local in local market, they are not well trained or they are inexperienced. Decisions made by them will be a disaster, maybe disaster for the local market because they don't have experience or they are not well trained to do it. It comes to another disadvantage, is about the cost. As said, you have to train the local market manager in order for them to be qualified as a leader to make the decisions for local markets. You have to invest in the training on the local team. Then you have to incur the training cost. At the same time, some roles are duplicated. For example, if you have 3 markets, then for each market you have your general manager and you have your financial controller for each market. Then you have 3 general managers and 3 financial controllers because you have 3 different locations. But if you merge or you restructure the organization to make the decisions centralized in one place, like in headquarters, then you no need to have a lot of general managers and financial controllers in each market. You can trim down your organization structure in order to have a more linear and more cost-effective structure, because there are duplication of roles. For market A, the general manager and the financial controller, they are doing the same jobs as in other markets, like market B and market C's general manager and financial controller. So the duplication of roles is also been about the money. So here is another disadvantage that I just mentioned about the cost, extra cost in obtaining information, because you have to put your resources in different markets and to obtain the information from different parties. So now move on to Antony's hierarchy. It's another topic that we discuss in this class. Antony's hierarchy is not complicated. It's said within an organization, each level of management will have different roles and responsibilities. So it talks about the level of management. Under Antony's hierarchy, we have 3 levels of management, and under different levels of management, they have their own role and responsibility. And this Antony's hierarchy is a model that can be used to illustrate the types of planning that will be made at each level of the organization's hierarchy. In other words, it is a triangle explaining the level of management, their roles and responsibilities, and the focus is on their roles and responsibility on planning. So what type of planning they need to do? The types of planning. And now move on to the triangle. Here is the Antony's hierarchy, or what we call the Antony triangle. In the triangle, there are 3 parts from the bottom to the top. On the top, we have strategic planning, and then it goes down to tactical planning, and the bottom is operational planning. You can see there is an arrow from each level of management. That means the planning should be consistent in terms of the goal, because for strategic planning on the top, they pass the message to the middle management. For tactical planning, they follow the same suit or same direction, and so they can plan in the middle management, and they also need to pass the message and communicate well to the low level of management in order for the execution and operational stuff. So here is the 3 layers or 3 levels of management under this Antony's hierarchy. And for strategic planning, here for strategic planning, it is undertaken by senior management or senior managers. For example, the board of management or those senior managements very close to the board of management. The strategic planning involves making long-term decisions for the organization or for the entire company. It is not talking about 1 year budget. It's talking about the long-term decisions, say 3 years or even 5 years. What's the product strategy? What do you need to build the product portfolio? Do you need to invest in new factory, or do you need to invest in a new country or new market? Do you have enough finance to do it? It's a very long term. It's not just 1 year or 2 years time. It's about long term decision making for the entire organization under this strategic planning. And next, tactical planning. It is undertaken by middle management, like department heads or division heads. It tends to look at plans for specific divisions or departments and specifies how to use resources. So it's talk about the budget, say your department budget or your division budget for next year, how to use your resources, say if you have the resources or you have the money, whether you would like to do the marketing plan or to execute your marketing plan, or you would like to hire more talents to work for this division. It's about how to use the resources on a particular department. And it's managed by the middle management, like the general manager of a division or department heads. So and they need to report to the senior management in the headquarters or in the corporate level. And for the bottom level of in the Antony's triangle or in the Antony's hierarchy is operational planning. Operational planning is undertaken by junior managers and supervisors. It is about short-term, detailed, and practical planning. It's about the day-to-day operations. It's about how to execute your work, and whether you need to hire any temporary staff. It's about the operational stuff. So it's managed by the junior managers and supervisors. And next, we will explain this Antony's triangle with an illustration here. We talk about strategic planning, we talk about tactical planning, and we will talk about the operational planning under this example. It is an example about a supermarket. Let's say a supermarket group, big group, for example like Tesco or similar size of supermarket. There's a headquarters, and strategic planning is under the headquarters roles and responsibility, because strategic planning would involve making plans for the whole business. This could involve which locations to open or close stores, and whether to raise cash from investors. Imagine you have 1,000 stores across the nation or even across the world, 1,000 or 2,000 stores, and you are now thinking whether we should add 100 stores more. And then next question is where do we open the new stores? Next is, do we have enough or adequate finance to do it? Or at the same time, maybe you decide to close some stores or underperformed stores. Then when to close it, whether we have any cash received from the closure, and do we have any other plan to ensure our customer is still happy even we close the store. So it's about strategic level or strategic level planning. And next, on the store level or particular supermarket, is on the tactical planning side. Under tactical planning, it would be the creation of strategies for a particular supermarket. For example, decisions about special offers, local advertising, and which products should be stocked. The general manager in the store, or what just called shop manager, he is in charge of tactical planning, because all the special offers or local advertising should be responsible by the local store manager, and he or she need to decide what kinds of products should be stocked, maybe for sale, say before the Christmas time, for example. The store manager need to think what kind of products will be in hot sale during this seasonal holiday, say for example holiday season. He need to keep the stocks to ensure once the sales is booming, there are enough stocks for the customer to purchase in order to ensure there's no sales lost. And last but not the least is about the operational planning. For tactical planning, as I mentioned, sometimes the shop manager need to prepare the annual budget, for example, for this particular supermarket. But for operational planning, it involves practical day-to-day strategies, such as organizing shift patterns, deciding when to stock the shelves and advertising for, and selecting new employees. The supervisors or junior managers need to do the day-to-day planning. Say, maybe on next week, they have a promotion plan for a particular product, say product A. So they need to stock up for product A sales. They need to ensure the shelves in the supermarket have adequate stock to put on and for sale. And they need to consider whether they need to have some in-store advertising or promotional materials to put in store in order to attract the customer's attention, so the promotion campaign is effective and the sales can be boosted. It's about the local store level or day-to-day operation level of strategies. And one key here is, in order to be successful on this Antony's triangle, the levels of strategy must support each other. As we share with you the triangle, there is an arrow between strategic planning and tactical planning, and also an arrow between tactical planning and operational planning. That means they should be support with each other. If a strategy is to improve customer service, this must be supported by appropriate tactical decisions being made in each store, such as allocating more of the store's budget to hiring additional customer services employees. Even then, this will only be a success if the operational strategies select the most appropriate candidates for the new role. Here is the example I just mentioned about how to improve the customer satisfaction or improve the customer service. The headquarters here set a goal to improve the customer service, the customer satisfaction, and the middle manager here, the shop managers, decide to allocate more resources on customer service representative. For example, they can hire more customer service representatives in order to improve customer service level. But finally, the store level, the day-to-day operational level, need to do, say, hire the right person, as well as to train the right person to do it well. It's on a day-to-day basis. So for each element or for each planning here, they are linked with each other in order to be success. And now let's move on to discuss about the roles and functions of the main departments in business organization. Each organization has its own unique structure, and many organizations operate similar basic departments to each other. So in other words, in a well-structured organization, that means it is well developed. It's not just like a startup. So the basic function or basic departments of an organization in a quite mature business will be more or less the same with other business, though even they are not in the same industry. But if they are quite mature, they should have similar basic departments with each other. And the departments here we will cover including R&D first, the research and development, and then purchasing department, production department, service operations, marketing department, administration department, and finance department. We will go through more on marketing and finance later, but here we would like to give you a brief introduction and to have an understanding on how the business organization is formed with different departments and what are their roles and functions. First, research and development. What are the roles of R&D or research and development? First, they improve existing products. It's very important because products, there's no perfect, but you have to improve it. You have the more advanced technology, say, for example, or you have different or changes in the customer demand. You have to improve your existing products in order to fit the market, as well as to have the advanced technology incorporated in your products if you are selling your products by emphasizing the technology. Also, the R&D department need to develop new products as well. In terms of strategy, you have, say, the cost leadership, you have the product differentiation, and if you would like to focus on product differentiation, you have to develop new products in order for your products to be outstanding in front of other competitors. And functions of research and development department is first, anticipating customer needs. So what are the latest needs for our customers or our target customers? Is the role or is the functions of R&D department. And R&D department also needs to generate new ideas. No matter is the product, new products or existing products, how to improve existing products is also one functions of R&D. Testing. If you improve your existing products, R&D departments need to test it, whether it is safe enough, for example, whether it is the functions of the products or the features of the new products developed. Is it the same as we planned? So they have to do the testing as well. And also they have the cost issue. The key concerns here, they need to take care about the cost. You cannot invest thousands or millions of dollars in producing just a small part or small products that cannot sell, or the sales volume is very uncertain or very small. So you have to think about the cost and benefits of your research work. Next, purchasing department. The roles of purchasing departments is to acquire the goods and services necessary for the business. So it's quite simple for purchasing department. It is about the procurement of goods and services for the needs of your business. And the functions of purchasing department is about price, about cost, and also payment terms. Payment terms means how long that you need to pay for your supplier on providing your goods or services to you. Say if you purchase materials, and how long that you need to pay back to a supplier. 30 days or 60 days. It is the job under purchasing department. It's very important in manage the cash flow. If you don't manage it well, it will eat up a lot of your cash capital or working capital for your company. So it's very important for the purchasing department in order to help the company to manage the cash flow. And next function is quality. Purchasing departments need to monitor the quality as well. It signs the contract with the supplier. The supplier, for example, agrees to provide the material A to the customer. Okay, if you're a customer, you have the purchasing department, you go to the supplier to buy the material A, and purchasing department need to ensure the quality of material A meets the minimum standard. Otherwise, the production department cannot work because of the poor quality, and they cannot sell the products even they are manufactured. So purchasing department is responsible in quality check. And purchasing department also needs to take care about the stock levels. They need to alert the finance department or sales department or production department on which kind of stock are overstocked or slow moving. So other departments need to work together with purchasing department to solve the problem. And they need to set a delivery schedules for the supplier to supply the goods or the materials into the warehouse if it is a manufacturer. Next, production department. It converts the raw materials into finished goods, is the roles, and it has to ensure the quality of the finished goods meet the minimum standard. It's the production department function, and it needs to take care about the cost, the production cost. If it sets the production cost, say it's $2 per unit. If it exceeds by 10%, say $2.2 per unit of the cost, the production department need to raise a flag, maybe to the purchasing department or to any other department, that the cost of goods right now increased. Maybe it's come from the higher purchasing cost or poor quality of the materials in order to do more to fix it. It is also incurring cost. The production department need to work on it. Another functions of production department is about managing wastage or improve the production efficiency. And another function is similar to purchasing, is about the stock levels. That is about the semi-finished good or the WIP, the work in progress, or the finished goods. They need to manage the stocks level of WIP, the WIP, and finished goods, and to fine-tune or to change their production schedules because of the stock levels. Another department here is service operations. Like accountancy firm, they don't have the stock, let's say, because they are providing services to clients. Their role is providing services to clients. And for some business, like the garage or the automobile workshop, they provide the services on car maintenance and repairs. So they are service operations. They have to ensure the quality of their service should have the same standard. In an accounting firm, you provide the same quality of your services to different clients. It's very important. You have to make sure your quality is high enough, can meet your standard. And also the functions of service operations is to scheduling. Like, because service operations mean you have to provide labor provide the services to your clients. You have to ensure your costs by managing or scheduling well of your labor, and also you need to ask for your staff or for labor to fill the timesheets in order to understand how many hours they are incurring to provide a service on a particular client. So it's about the pricing as well. If you provide more services by more hours charged to a particular client, at the end of the day, you need to bill your client. Otherwise, you are not efficient to run this business, and you are running loss as well. Marketing departments. The key roles of marketing department sometimes is quite similar to R&D. You will know in later on after the discussion. But to be clear, marketing is not the same as research and development. for marketing departments, it needs to identify customer needs. It needs to identify customer needs, and it performs market research to do it. And also the market research can provide you the information about how the product should be designed. So marketing department is also responsible for product design, especially on the packaging design as well. It determines the pricing. So what is the proper price to be charged in order to have sales? If you are setting too high price, then no customer come in to buy your products. If you are setting too low, the price is too low. First of all, the risk is making loss. The second risk is it's very hard for a company to increase the price if at the beginning of the day they set the price too low, because the perception by the customer on the price is already built in their mind. So the pricing, you need to have the good market research to set a good pricing for your new product. And promotion, especially, they would like to boost the sales by dropping price of particular product. And also they need to manage the distribution as well. It includes what are the channels for your products to be sold in the market. Is it, say, from business to business, or from business to end consumers, or from the online channel or the offline channel like supermarkets or any other places? So the marketing team need to suggest what kind of distribution of the products they need to do. So the functions of marketing, customer needs, they need to fulfill customer needs. They need to have the quality control as well, especially on product quality, in order for the product to meet the customer needs or customer satisfaction level. And they need to do a promotional strategy in order to sell their products well. They need to have the distribution channel strategy, as I mentioned, whether it is selling online or offline. They need to be clear about the pricing strategy. Next, administration department. Administration department, they provide administrative support and processing transactions. So when you sell the goods to the customer, you have the billing sent to your customer as well. You have the administration department, or sometimes called sales administration department, to support these sales activities. And for administration department, their functions is to look for efficiency and also processing the information received. The last department in our discussions on the roles and functions is finance. Finance department is one of the core departments because it looks for the numbers. It looks at the numbers and the financials. It has the basic roles is the bookkeeping. It has to record the numbers, and so it can perform another role called the financial reporting. It can prepare the monthly report or annual reports to the senior management to understand the business performance. Also, it has the financial controls, the one of the roles, because it needs to take care about the money. It needs to ensure the proper money are spent well through the proper authorization structure. Also, the finance function needs to monitor the overall budget. Even the departments, say the purchasing, the production, marketing, or other departments, they need to prepare the department budget. But finance departments need to coordinate all different parties to have an overall picture of a company's budget. So finance department is very important in budgeting and forecasting. And one of the key roles under finance is about raising capital, because like the company needs to expand and it needs to raise funds, no matter it's from the bank loan or borrowing money from the market, or raise the capital, the equity capital. Then it's all the functions, it's all for the roles under the finance department. And for the functions, finance departments need to provide accurate and complete report, or the record keeping, because there's no other departments will keep the full set of numbers or financial numbers for the company or for the organization. Finance department need to perform these functions, and they need to have the monthly management reporting to show the performance of the organization on a regular basis. as well as the annual financial reporting. Say they need to discuss with the auditor to submit the annual financial reports or for the company registry or for any listing requirements. So now move on to the in-class question time. We have 3 questions to discuss or to inspire you see whether how you can apply the knowledge that we just learned from this class. The first question is, which of the following is not a likely additional cost to an organization caused by decentralization? First, because it's about nodes, so first, additional training costs are often required in a decentralized organization. Second, about duplication of roles, leading to higher personnel costs. Third, about cost of gathering information, you have to pay extra cost of gathering information from various sources and locations. Last but not the least, lost sales due to lack of local knowledge and expertise. So which one is not a likely additional cost? If you remember, we have this chart showing the advantages and disadvantages of decentralization. So if you have a good memory on what we discussed, then you can answer this question by picking the right option. The next in-class question is about a retail store. A retail store sells electronics, and it is currently deciding how many units of its products it will need to order next month in order to meet customer demand. It's about the month-to-month operation stuff. And which level of strategic planning does this relate to? There are 4 options here. First, strategic. Second, operational. Third, tactical. And fourth, operational. We discussed this Antony's triangle. We mentioned 3 terms here: strategic planning, tactical planning, and operational planning. And you have 4 options. One more is functional. Functional or functional planning is another term of tactical planning. Okay, so here I think it's quite straightforward for you to pick the right answer on this very day-to-day operational stuff. The last in-class question is, which of the following is not part of the responsibility of the research and development department? So it's about the R&D department. First, improving existing products. Second, developing new products. Third, researching new technologies for application to future products. And fourth, researching market demands for products. And we discussed the role and responsibilities for research department. And it's all about the product. It's not about other things. So here, you think which one is not part of the responsibility. If you know which items or which option, they doesn't mention about the product. They mention about the key, even though right now you see products, but one option, the key is not about product. So if you know it, then you can pick it up